title is No More Ugly Girls and Rewriting the Script. And so eventually I got a little reading in there, and I'm going to try to do voices I learned at the WWA. You got to use inflection and stuff. And so I'll probably drop out midway, and I'll probably kind of be imitating the person doing the audiobook for me and not doing the characters justice, but here we go. So, No More Ugly Girls is the story of Auburn Halverson. She never made a mistake that she didn't then make. Now with 2 young daughters, she's determined to have a stable life. Yet she's tempted to fall back into her old patterns when she's confronted with her boyfriend's infidelity. What's causing her to fall back into those old patterns? Broken trust and trauma. People are judged, especially women, as weak for the choices that they make. But mistakes are not a sign of weakness, but of staying strong too long. So my novel began as a way to honor the inner strength that survivors have to keep moving while carrying their pain hidden away. Our society tells everybody, but especially abused girls, that they have to keep their trauma secret. Then it tells them that secrets make them ugly. It is only through the sheer strength of character that they carry on with life. So you may be asking why Tom would be the person to write this book and this story. And really the only reason I have is that I wrote it. I may not be the person, but I did. I wrote what was important to me, and I've simply cared about people that have experienced trauma. And occasionally I do consider that this whole book may just be a big rationalization as to why the women that I loved rejected me. And then I'm just trying to make the case that it wasn't my personality. Let me reassure you, I spent years making the case that it was me, and I haven't ruled it out yet. However, I worked with troubled people for many years. People that harm themselves. People that have overdosed and then go back to doing drugs. Trafficked girls that will go back to being trafficked. So I wanted to explore why people make choices that others can't understand. And this is what I came up with. We all began on one path. However, for people with trauma, someone has spun them around onto a different path and given them a weight that they must carry. It's not a path that they chose, but they still get judged for going down that more difficult path. And like everyone, they only know to keep moving. There's lots of metaphors of what it's like to live with trauma, and I'm going to adapt them to kind of extend this metaphor of the path. Just like everybody, a person with adverse experiences put tools for that hike in their backpack. They pack in water bottles and food, fresh socks and sunblock. But they never take out that heavy rock that trauma is. And maybe that rock takes up so much space that they have to leave out some of the things that they need. So then, to me, it's no wonder that they stumble. Why they have trouble making it to the destination of self-actualization, which simply means becoming the best version of yourself. So they are amazing people, people we love, but they have trouble loving themselves. Which is where the title No More Ugly Girls comes into. When Auburn looks in the mirror, she sees ugliness. I think so many girls and women do, and we need to find a way for them to stop seeing themselves as ugly. And of course, the real title of the book should be No More Ugly Men. And I say that because men are almost always abusers. And I would like to make it clear that I don't think the problem is the people that see themselves as ugly. And I certainly want to be a part of a conversation about people not hurting other people. But with this book, I want to tell a story about a person judging themselves for other people's sins. And this happens because we cannot understand how someone can harm us in such a way, especially children. They are only aware of their own minds, so if somebody does something bad to them, they can only come to the conclusion that something is wrong with themselves. So here's a short selection. Auburn's talking to her mom, Betty, about her dad running out on them. Just for Cody's her nephew, and Emma is Auburn's 4-year-old. Auburn found her mom standing on a stepladder, struggling to pull a box out of the attic. Cody was running circles under her. Cody, Emma is downstairs watching cartoons. Mom, let me help you with that. Betty carried the box down the ladder by herself and dropped it on the floor. More of your dad's crap. I got a box of clothes. I got boxes of his clothes. His hunting boots. This has some of his family's pictures in it and an army uniform. I suppose I better go drop it off over by him. Auburn could not imagine going over to his house. She could not imagine having a conversation with him any more than she could with George Washington. Didn't he take anything with him when he left? He took enough. He took the checkbook, the car, and for some reason, the toaster. And you didn't let him come get his stuff? Betty picked up the box. I never said he couldn't. She lumbered down the stairs. I'll probably kick this around for a few months before I go and take it over to him. And then she looked at Auburn. There's always a chance I could get lucky and he'd die. She laughed, turned around to see what Auburn's reaction was. But Auburn just looked at her. It's weird that he left so much stuff here. Like he just grabbed some stuff and left in a hurry. Betty put the box back by the back door in the kitchen. I think he probably had a dinner date. BLTs, I figure, with him taking the toaster. Why are you going on about this? If you think you kicked your dad out, you're wrong. I didn't volunteer to raise 2 kids by myself. I'm not. What Auburn was thinking about was how annoying she had been as a kid. Her mom had always told her that she had been clingy. And she remembered how desperate she had felt when her dad got irritated with her. Many times he had picked her up and with clenched teeth set her down in the next room. She saw that same feeling in Emma's eyes when Steve yelled at her. A few minutes later, Auburn asked, did Dad care about you when we got married? That's not even worth thinking about. I think he did. I know he did. You have all these things still in your house. Why would a guy leave his hunting stuff unless he got totally fed up and something drove him out? Betty looked at her. Her lower lip quivered with anger. I didn't do nothing to drive your dad out. I know, I did. Her words that she had kept secret since she had been a kid now came out as if she was having a conversation about her weekend. But that is how it had been going lately. She'd been telling things that she knew should be kept secret and thinking thoughts that should be kept hidden. I knew Dad worked nights, but I couldn't keep quiet during the day. I would forget and bang around the house, and I was always clinging to you. I wasn't much of a daughter to him. Her mother squinted through her outdated tinted glasses, her face looking old. I held on to his stuff out of spite, all right. He didn't want to face me, so when he wanted to come pick it up when I wasn't here, and I wouldn't let him. So let's just get rid of this stuff and be done with him. As her mom picked up the cooking pans she no longer used, Auburn thought of how she could take his bow and his hunting clothes over to him and see if her mom was telling the truth. His stuff would be a good excuse to go over there. She imagined him coming to the door and mumbling a hello. His house would smell like cigarettes and cooking grease. At first he would be hesitant to invite her in. Once he let her inside, he would sit down in the recliner. He'd watch ball games and drink his Pabstin. She would sit down on his couch, and nothing good would happen next. And I'm not really sure of my original purpose for writing that scene, but I think that Auburn blaming herself came out as a revelation. Because it's not until after I finished the book that I learned that most of the way we handle life is in our subconscious minds. Our brains want to be the super efficient machines, so it writes scripts for us. We don't even know that we're reading them, but we are. And where does the script come from? The relationships around her and our culture. Our interpretation of events that happen to us. Bad experiences write bad scripts. As a little girl, Auburn can only see her dad abandoning her as her fault. So whenever she feels rejected, her script is that she is the problem.